in all-time boxing history. It'd definitely be the biggest fight in British boxing history because we've just had one against Vladimir Klitschko. That was the biggest fight in British boxing history, unquestionably, and the most exciting. This one will eclipse that. We don't rule out a fight in America at some point as well. We know the money over there. We're involved with some serious players in terms of Dazn over there who, will want to back that fight as well, here or there. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
I can't play the video, but you don't need to hear the video. They're just sitting there talking. This is from the post-fight press conference, and we're going to talk about it. It is right now. What time is it? September the 23rd, 2018, exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what is it, about 3 p.m. or so over there in the 4 p.m. over there in the UK? Joshua got a very spectacular, brutal knockout. We're going to watch a little bit of that yesterday against Alexander Povetkin. Crazy. In a fight where I gotta be honest, I'm getting a lot of shit from fans in the comments and everything. I'm going to explain my logic, and also you have to understand that YouTubers, especially Black American YouTubers on over here in the States, have a bad reputation when it comes to Anthony Joshua. For example, because a lot of my counterparts are very hypercritical of him in regards to how the Deontay Wilder situation was handled. Me, not so much. But I understand the trickle-down effect. I understand. So, moving on. Let's listen to a little bit more of this, and we're going to dissect it. If you don't know, Wilder versus Fury is happening December the 1st, likely in the Staples Center or Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. It's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view and BT Sport box office. The price, I'm thinking that Showtime may go with $74.99 or $79.99 to probably look at Canelo Golovkin and say, listen, we're going to offer it to you for cheaper, or somewhere along those lines. Mayweather versus Pacquiao was 100. Mayweather versus McGregor was 100, but Mayweather versus Berto, what was that, $74.99? So this is not going to be a $100 pay-per-view. But let's move on. We got a lot to talk about in about 20 minutes or so before we start moving on to other boxing topics. Like, for example, you got the World Boxing Super Series final over in Iraq, Saudi Arabia. I'm just joking. With George Groves and Callum Smith. You got Jerwin Nkajas versus Johan Sultan. Next week, along with Jose Utsa Katagai versus Madinera. I forgot his name. A lot of the fights. We got a lot of fights coming up, man. So, we just not a Joshua or a Canelo or a Golovkin channel. We cover them all. So let's listen to a little bit more. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe. Also, there's my Twitter handle. I'm actually active on Twitter now. For the first couple of years, I wasn't running my Twitter. It was other people. I just was letting it was a field day. But now I'm running my shit. All right.
But I do believe that we're only scratching the surface of how big Wilder Joshua could be. But we also live in an age where fans want everything now. And we also live in the heavyweight division where someone could lose. Not this man, but someone else could lose. So we want that fight now. He wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
But presumably, if you sign the fight for Wilder has, or is having, we understand, another fight first, isn't it?
Yeah, that's irrelevant. It's subject to winning. I mean, obviously, if he loses, we're not fighting at Wilder in. But what we're saying is, we map out our future. There's never been any disruption to the career of Anthony Joshua. Everything has been absolute, solid, step by step. We're not waiting for time wasters. What we're saying is, we'll negotiate the fight now. If you lose, we understand we have to find another opponent. But if you win, we're not waiting until December. These aren't negotiations that are going to take 24 hours. So I'm not having the career of Anthony Joshua slowed down by people slow playing a deal. If they want the deal, and we've opened talks now with Shelley Finkel as well, we can make it happen for April. You go and have your fight, you go and win, but subject to you winning, and we'll have someone else in place in April as well. But we're not going to waste our time. We're going to progress the career, but note the resume of the people he's fighting while we're supposedly waiting. He's not just boxing off easy competition. He's fighting the very best in the world. Number 2 wasn't available. We couldn't make that deal. He boxed number 3. And guess what? When he boxed Joseph Parker, he was number 3 in the Ring magazine. So what more has he got to do?
Presumably, though,
That's a very, 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 very valid point. I stand by it when I say that Alexander Povetkin. See, people put too much shit on age nowadays. This is not motherfucking 1999 or motherfucking 2005. In today's society, with modern medicine and technology, in my opinion, 39 years old. 39 is not old. Not in boxing today. I'm sorry. You're getting old. For example, people say Golovkin is old. No, you're getting old. You are, but you're not old. It's not like you shouldn't be in. Listen, it's different. I can go on all day talking about that. But Alexander Povetkin is a very credible win, and people are going to judge me by saying that that win against Alexander Povetkin is up there with the win over Vladimir Klitschko. Let's not forget, Vladimir Klitschko had that hell of a long layoff. How long was Vladimir Klitschko out of the ring? Dealing with Tyson Fury's bullshit? Remember, Carlos Takam was supposed to be Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev, in my opinion, very credible opponent, despite what you may think of how he looked against Derek Chisora and him getting knocked out by Klitschko. Joseph Parker in his prime, or peaking right there at that same level as Joshua was in their careers. Young fighter, WBO champion. And then a veteran that was putting hands on him. I wasn't the only, don't be a fool, right? You were on the edge of your seat during those first 6 rounds of Joshua versus Povetkin. I always do a video after I rewatch the fight. What I do is, see, I like to time my videos where I'll do my post-fight, I'll do a live stream, even though last night live stream, that was a giveaway. I knew that I was going to fuck around on that stream. But nonetheless, I'll do my post-fight, a live stream, I'll wait, watch the fight again, and then I'll come back and do a video like this. Sometimes not this soon. I'm surprised I'm doing this video this soon. I was going to wait till motherfucking Tuesday or Wednesday. But I couldn't sleep. So I figured I'm going to get up early, even though I went to bed about 3, 4, and just do a video. Start working. So Eddie Hearn is right. It's not like he's taking easy challenges. For example, let's just go look at it. I'm going to show you. If you want to see the rankings, go down below in the description box. My website, we're getting things back in order. I know people don't like me talking about it, but every now and then I have to, especially for when a lot of traffic is on the channel. So I was really, really sick for the last several years. Earlier this year, I got really, really sick, had to be put into a coma for 3 weeks. We're good now. We're good. So we got all that taken. Shit's crazy, right? Oh, God. Give me nightmares sometimes. But nonetheless, I'm getting my shit back on track, right? So look at this. Let me tell you, let's talk about the landscape. Mike Montero. You got Deontay Wilder, obviously, the WBC champion, right? Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, now I can go through the timeline, but you don't give a fuck because I agree he shouldn't be there. Dominic Breazeale is the WBC mandatory. However, he's not due his shot until November. Or at least the WBC can't order that until after Wilder versus Fury is over. You got Dylan White, who's ranked number 1 somehow, but in boxing, if you're ranked number 1, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the mandatory. That's just how the bullshit works, right? So, moving on, you're going to have Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury eliminate themselves. One of them is going to be eliminated in regards to this unofficial, undisputed heavyweight boxing tournament. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, WBA Super World, IBF, and WBO. Manuel Char will very likely be stripped. He was supposed to fight Frezo Quindo this weekend coming up on the 28th for this WBA world title. Frezo Quindo has been owed this title shot for 4 years now. He has not been in the ring since, via court order. So if he don't get his title shot, he can sue the WBA for fucking millions and millions of dollars. That's the real truth behind it. But I got an individual video coming on that. But nonetheless, now likely, see, Eddie Hearn is trying to do some finessing, some maneuvering for Jill Big Baby Miller, right? To backtrack, Dylan White and Derek Chisora are in negotiations to fight on December the 22nd. If Derek Chisora loses, he's going to retire. Definitely likely he's going to retire. If Dylan White loses, he'll be eliminated. Derek Chisora, that won't necessarily mean he'll get an Anthony Joshua shot in April. Now, you got to follow me. I know it's deep. It doesn't necessarily mean he'll get an Anthony Joshua fight in April. It just means if the Wilder fight doesn't happen, it just means that his career has been extended. You know, and maybe he'll go on to fight a Gerald Big Baby Miller or something like that. But to move on to what I was saying, you got Fresno Quindo, who should have to fight Trevor Bryan because Trevor Bryan is the WBA interim champion. It's a whole bunch of bullshit with the WBA, man. But follow me. Hang in there and follow me. You got Gerald Big Baby Miller, who's taking on Tomas Adamic, hoping to get ordered by the WBA to either fight Trevor Bryan or Fresno Quindo. Likely they want to fight Fresno Quindo to get that WBA world title to eventually lead to Joshua shot. You got Kubrat Pulev. I'm sick of talking about the WBA. You got Kubrat Pulev, who's going to be taking on Hughie Fury October the 27th. It's going to be free for you guys over there in the UK. And over here in the States, it's going to be on ESPN Plus. Very, very important fight. Because the IBF they don't fuck around. And guess what? Joshua and Hearn's not talking about it because they don't want to throw fuel on the flame. But the winner of this will likely be ordered to be the mandatory for Anthony Joshua. You could very well see Anthony Joshua versus either Pulev or Fury on April the 13th. Not Dylan White, not Deontay Wilder. I mean, I don't think they would stop Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, whoever wins between that. Also, the WBO several weeks ago stated that Alexander Povetkin is not the WBO mandatory, but he is only the WBA mandatory. Therefore, they are going to order one of these guys all the way down to the top 8. You know, because I talked to him, Brian Jennings. It's a very difficult and complex video, but I did it already. To talk about how all these guys, even Tom Schwartz, factors in. Because likely in October, November, no later than December, the WBO is going to order one of these guys to fight each other. And if they don't, if guys turn it down, not Povetkin, he's been eliminated. If these guys turn it down, then they could very well order a WBO mandatory without having an eliminator. And remember, Brian Jennings is in cahoots with Bob Arum. Bob Arum is in cahoots with Frank Warren and Top Rank, and that WBO man could throw. So this is what gives BY power right there. Let's I hope that broke it down enough for you, man. I know it's a lot. But Eddie Hearn is right, and what he's saying is there's no easy challenges now. Like when you got all those belts and you the biggest cash cow and all that shit, it's no easy challenges. But however, I do disagree with them saying that, listen, Wilder, we got to get a deal done now. We're not trying to wait. It's, you know, I agree, kind of disagree. We're going to talk about it, though. We're going to talk about it, man. Listen, pay attention. There's my mouse cruiser over here. Here we are.
With Fury as well, because otherwise...
No, because he'll have a rematch clause.
Okay.
So if Fury wins, good luck to him. It's not really. So
listen, he's saying that we only want to negotiate with Wilder. We don't want to negotiate with Fury because Fury doesn't likely have a rematch clause. We were hearing that they were possibly going to be a rematch clause for Fury if he won or lost, but now it's looking like there's only a rematch clause, as it should be, for the champion. So Eddie Hearn is saying, no, we're not worried about Tyson Fury because if he wins, it's going to be a rematch clause with with Wilder, because Wilder's going to want his belt back. We're not trying to deal with that. We're trying to sew Wilder up right now.
What we want, because we want to fight Wilder. So, but again, we get the negotiations done. We get a deal in place for April, subject to victory. And if they don't want to do that, then we fight someone else in April. And then we box again in November, December. He's not going anywhere. He's had 22 fights. These heavyweights calling him out, even ex-heavyweights, criticising Anthony Joshua. Where were they after 22 fights? Did they have a resume like him? Absolutely not.
I know you obviously want Wilder to win because it's clear that the rematch clause, since it's a voluntary, like you said. But rematch clauses aside, would you still rather see Wilder in Fury?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to be disrespectful, but Tyson Fury is the most unentertaining fighter I've ever seen. He's never been in a good fight in his whole career, apart from Cunningham where he got knocked down. Deontay Wilder against Joshua is the biggest fight in world boxing, and stylistically, it is the most exciting matchup you could possibly make in boxing.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on that?
Because you know why? Because somebody would get knocked out. Tyson Fury, don't get me wrong, I love him to death. Been a big, huge Tyson Fury supporter for years. Even been a big, let me see, is it over here? You know how many Anthony Joshua fights I've covered? I've covered every single Anthony Joshua fight on YouTube except for his first fight against Leo, Zumbanu, and Bakhtov. Go look it up. Go look up. I started this channel on in August of 2014. So the other one's on the other channel. But go look up Joshua versus Sprott. In fact, let's go do it real quick. Let's see. Let's see what we looked like. What was that? Let's see. Let's see. This was me 3 years ago.
Congratulations, 10 out of 10 yet again.
November the 22nd, we're live.
No, I'm glad to get the year.
Oh, no. Tugging at the heartstrings. Tugging at the heartstrings. That was my dog. He died. Oh. Tugging at the heartstrings. I don't know why I did that to myself. What were we talking about? Here, let's go do one more little brief clip of let's do this one to be on the safe side. Let me give you a little brief clip of poor Sasha Povetkin getting his shit pushed in. He was doing good too. And I understand, Joshua was working behind the jab. You got a lot of people pissed. A lot of people don't understand, especially if they watch my videos like once. Like my presentation in regards to covering fights and how I view fights. But people are like, did you see him with the jab and everything? Yo, listen, that was a lot of those fights were close to score. And if you were a Joshua fan, obviously you would give him the Joshua. The fight, looking at the way, Canelo versus Golovkin win in this, in regards to the jab, that was different. But better believe that Joshua and Eddie Hearn, a little bit of poop was coming out. It's a little bit. But at the end of the day, Povetkin's style with those leaping left hooks, and how he goes for the gusto, like while he's on the inside, with the uppercuts and the wild ankles. Don't get me wrong, it'll work to a fault, but if you get timed, Vince, for example, he was too trigger happy with the left hook. Way too trigger happy with the left hook. Way too trigger happy with the left hook. And he ended up paying the ultimate price. You don't want to get hit by no guy that's motherfucking with the accuracy of that straight right hand of Anthony Joshua. When he decides to let it go, you don't want to get hit with that. The same thing, you don't want to get hit with that motherfucking windmill. See, Joshua versus Wilder is a big fight because of the different, it's true, the different styles. The styles of Anthony Joshua in regards to he's the more better, fundamentally sound fighter, more tricks in his bag, to where Wilder, that erratic, sporadic windmill shit. That windmill, listen, you've seen it. You've seen it in action, especially when he I said it before, like when he stands still and he start charging up, and then he starts, doing that little fucking juke move, juke KO shit. How do you train for that? How do you be in the gym saying, okay, well, you know, he likes to throw, you know, that straight right hand, but if he cracks you once, then prepare for him to come with the uppercut? No. You got to prepare for him to raise his arm all the way up here, and then for the right arm to come from above. But you got to watch because it might come motherfucking down like a meteor. You know? How do you prepare? How do you prepare? Have you seen a windmill? Like a regular windmill, but his shit is like that fucking turbine, the fucking big white with the fucking, when you playing GTA and you racing and you got to jump over him and shit and they spinning. He's the turbine windmill. That's high velocity. That's high test energy generation right there. Let's listen to some more. I'm rambling.
What, that I want to fight Wilder?
Yeah, you said before no preference. Would you rather see Wilder for that reason, stylistically?
Yeah, no problem. I fight all of them, one at a time. Wilder next, no problem. So, yeah, I look forward to both of them fighting. Good luck to Wilder. And once he wins, the opportunity is there. But as Eddie said, hopefully we can get that deal signed and sealed before December so I can start planning my future.
So you prefer Wilder?
As I said, I'm not first.
AJ Fury said tonight that you'll now never.
If you look deeply into it, though, if you really, really look deeply into it, I think that what we talked about earlier, they want to seal up Deontay Wilder before the other politics come into play in regards to, like I said, the mandatories. You know, Kubrat Pulev, Huey Fury, the WBO with Brian Jennings, you know. Makes perfect sense. You know, because looking at it, right? Imagine Wilder versus Fury. It has to happen on the Zone. It has to happen on Sky Sports box office. Unfortunately, when it comes to that situation for Deontay Wilder, he don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to that shit. You got to bow down to the unified champions rule, unfortunately. And I'm a big supporter of Showtime, you know, but if the fight does end up on Showtime, it's going to be on the Zone and on Showtime. But guess what? Showtime is going to have to give it to you for free, while the Zone is going to be saying we're going to give it to you for $9.99. Showtime is going to have to give it to us for free because they can't say Joshua versus Wilder on Showtime pay-per-view and the Zone, but Joshua versus Wilder is $84.99 and the Zone is $9.99 or some shit. And I think that's been really, really the biggest sticking point on why this fight fell through the first time. You know, and in a way, Showtime really, really feels disrespected, as they should, is because they built Anthony Joshua up here in the States to fight Deontay Wilder. And then Eddie Hearn, you got to say, whatever, it's business, I understand, showed a lack of loyalty in regards to now he's over on the Zone. We gave you the platform over here over on our shit. You know we wanted you to fight Wilder, and then this new shit come along. You trying to, you know. So realistically, from a business standpoint, honestly, that's really what it is. You know, it's a real big network issue. But nonetheless, the fight's got to happen. Joshua knows it's got to happen. You know, yeah, they can do, you know, another 80,000 fighting the guys I, you know, named. Dylan White to get in a rematch. Yeah, you know, they're going to have to turn it up for promotion a little bit more, you know. Joshua's going to have to grow, not get a haircut, but grow like the full African fro, you know. Remember, there's no fanboy shit here. We talk to you with respect. Even though a lot of you guys, when you watch Anthony Joshua fights, I already know to pick and choose who I battle with in the comments. And one thing, people forget that I've been doing this for years. I don't sit around and just sit there be reading comments at my motherfucking command center, fucking playing Black Ops or motherfucking Call of Duty or some shit, you know, and just saying like, oh, he wrote that? Oh, I'm so I'm pissed. You know how many comments you get on YouTube and in your DMs and shit? Nobody don't be mad. So everybody just don't get me wrong. I will cuss you out. I will entertain dumb shit and just sit there and just get motherfucking my fingers are moving. But then after that, it'd be done, man. Sometimes you'll watch my videos. You'll be like, yo, this guy's cool. Other times you'll be like, hey, man, this motherfucker's a dickhead. That's life, though, right? That's the story of life. So we're going to see how this plays out. You know, also I'm interested to see what Wilder versus Fury does on pay-per-view. They're having a press tour starting on October the 1st. Right now it's the 23rd. Monday in London. Obviously, well, thank God it's not obviously. We had a long road back, but we're going to be covering that in London. I'm going to be at the New York press conference, and my other colleague over in L.A. is going to be at the L.A. press conference, unless they try to get shady. But you know what? Our numbers are high enough now for them not to keep fucking around with us. Sometimes you'd be surprised. You'll see people at these events because they know people, and like they're not really there working, and then they like try to get all new with me. Whatever. Nonetheless, we still doing pretty good where we're at. You know, and we're just blessed to be here covering the sport of boxing. Here is what aired on Showbox. Showbox is like the UK's version of like Next Gen or something over there. Eddie Hearn, you know, like a card for up and coming fighters.
December 1st, it's the WBC Heavyweight Championship. Deontay Wilder defends his title and unbeaten record against former unified and also unbeaten heavyweight Tyson Fury. This Clash of Titans will be brought to you by Showtime Pay-Per-View. December 1st, it's the WBC Heavy.
They also have an All Access. I hope that it's a 3-episode All Access. If you don't know, you have to know what All Access is, right? I'm not going to explain it to you. It's a docu drama that leads up to the fight, following the fighters. You know, Mayweather usually has 3 before his fights and then 1 after. HBO used to have 2 or 3 before the fights, but HBO just completely dropping the ball lately.
You just a phony, man.
I'm knocking you out.
You just a phony, man.
Let me make sure I don't miss anything, though.
Fight him and been very uncomplimentary of you. Are you not interested in a fight with him at all?
Yeah, I'll fight Fury if he's ready. But as he said, he's not. So good luck to him with his fight with Wilder. And if he changes his mind in the future, he knows where we are.
AJ, can you talk a little bit about what adaptations you made and how you kind of turned it around? It looked like you got your timing. It maybe got warmed up. And also, I'd like to ask Coach that.
I think that's Michael Woods, but no disrespect. I don't want to hear that question because, you know, Joshua always says the right things about, yeah, well, you know, I turned around the job and I don't want to hear it, you know.
Fine. I don't think I'm the one to judge because it's just my job. It's just every day to me. But my coach would kind of give me his verdict, and then I look back at the feedback of on top, and then the next challenger, April 13th, people will tune in to say they'll look at his record, who he's fought, his knockouts, is he strong enough? And if he's good enough, then they'll tune in and say, if this guy's going to give AJ problems, we all want to watch it. If it was an easy opponent, no one would watch it. That's the appeal. Give Anthony the toughest of the toughest. Get King Kong, dig up the old school, and get him to fight AJ. We want to see who's going to beat him. That's the appeal in boxing. Is that, you know, that sense of superiorness. Who's the strongest man and all that type of stuff. That's what people want to tune in for. So they're looking for that person, and that's the appeal for now. So I've got to stay on top of my game.
Yeah, I just think he's getting more experience, and you know he's calmer under pressure now. Listen, he got hit with a few shots in the fight, but that comes with the territory. It's World Championship boxing, but he's more mature. He's stronger. He imposes himself when he needs to. So it's a very, very difficult man to box, and he's only going to get better. And tonight will only help that. That will speed that process up in him getting better and better.
I ain't gonna lie, Tyson Fury has been coming off a little bit like a thought, you know, a little bit Daft Cunty-ish. You know, seems like, you know, all this is getting to him. But he's got a lot to prove. For one, he's got to be in the best shape of his career. He was in phenomenal shape for Vladimir Klitschko. He's got to be in the best shape of his career because he's coming to American television. Also, he's got to put on a show, even though it doesn't suit his style. He's coming to American television. You know, people don't want him to win. We want Joshua versus Wilder. Is that a crime? But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.